Yo, how's it going, everybody? It's your boy Miles here. Welcome back to another Call of Duty Black Ops 7 beta video here on the channel. One second, I have a burp. Jesus. Okay, anyways, I'm gonna get right on into the topic today because this is part 2 of my skill-based matchmaking being removed is not going to affect Black Ops 7 whatsoever. Video. I posted one, I think, like 2 days ago. And the gameplay was only like 10 minutes long. I just didn't have enough to say what I wanted to say. So we're going to just pick right up where I left off. Right back up where I left off. And that is talking about why I don't think disabling skill-based matchmaking is really going to make a difference. Because like I said in the last video in part 1, everybody at this point just has, like I said, a much better setup and is obviously conditioned to be a sweat, knows how to move like they do in wars. Like it's just like it's no longer the same casual shooting experience that we know and love from Call of Duty back in the day. So why don't I think removing skill-based matchmaking is going to make any difference whatsoever when it comes to Black Ops 7? So I think a lot of people these days tend to play in groups. I'm not really sure how many people are really getting on Call of Duty alone nowadays. I feel like the majority of the people I've played with these days have been in groups. And why that's an issue is because I play alone. And when I play alone and I'm going up against a group of people who are decent at the game, I'm already at a disadvantage because those 4 people, more likely than not, are moving around together, right? They're kind of like holding hands, boyfriend and girlfriend style type COD playing. I fucking hate it when they do that, but that's pretty much what Call of Duty is nowadays if you're playing alone. And you can tell, like, if they're teammates, like, you know, or like in the same, you know, squad together, because they just do similar shit. They're running side by side. They're like checking each other's corners. They got each other's sixes and stuff like that. And I'm not necessarily going to sit here and say it's a problem, but it's an issue for me because when I want to sit here and casually play and just get some content on the board, and I have, you know, random teams of 3 or 4 or sometimes even a full squad of 6 going up against me and they stay in my lobby, it's like not necessarily the easiest thing for me to be able to win that game because they're all communicating and I'm sitting there trying to talk in game chat and no one is saying anything. So I guess what I'm trying to say is I just don't really think it matters because this is what we wanted from Call of Duty the last 6 or 7 years. We never asked for skill-based matchmaking to exist, and for a few years, we didn't even think it was in the game when it secretly really was. Like Black Ops 3, Advanced Warfare, 100% had skill-based matchmaking. I don't want to hear otherwise. I grinded the fuck out of both of those games as a raw, ripe 9 and 10-year-old, and I definitely experienced skill-based matchmaking. I have so much gameplay from back in the day on my Xbox captures that, like, dude, it was just like... It was like honestly the beginning of the end for Call of Duty back then, but we just didn't know it because we didn't even know what fucking skill-based matchmaking was up until like, what, 2019? Modern Warfare 2019? For the most part. I just feel like at this point everyone is kind of just over it. Like, there's no more hype for Call of Duty. They pretty much ruined it for themselves. Call of Duty at this point, I feel like until they continue to go on this upward scale of like doing what the community actually asks of them, sure, they're going to maintain their reputation as being one of the top 2, top 3 shooting FPS games on the market. But the only fucking reason that they disabled skill-based matchmaking for Black Ops 7 is because of Battlefield 6. And I mean, I honestly, I was on my friend's Xbox Series S today playing Battlefield 6 in his room on his TV. And I gotta say, man, like... that game was fun. It was simple. It was exactly as advertised. You know, it's Battlefield. I dropped in with, you know, 15 other players of 16v16. You're just capturing zones and shit. And the TTK on the weapons are realistic. You know, based off of who has the better position or who has the better angle and who shoots first. That's basically who wins the gunfight most of the time. And, you know, there's no... existential, like, it's not even the right word, there's no like exoskeleton movement, there's no like, you know, omni movement, there's no sprinting at the speed of a fucking marathon runner, you know what I mean? It's standard, like the way you run in the game would make you think you're playing like COD 4. And to me that was just like, wow, like the fact that there's so many people on this game, I could just sit back and honestly enjoy myself, have a nice song. Like, I don't have to sweat. Like, I don't really remember what that feels like because honestly, for as long as I can fucking remember, Call of Duty has just been a sweat show. Like, ever since I was a child, I wanted to be an Optic. I didn't actually think I was gonna be an Optic, but like I wanted, you know, to be like a fucking cracked Call of Duty like kid. I just wanted to be a legend, bro. I was honestly a loser. I like didn't even start playing sports until middle school, and that was like honestly because Infinite Warfare was such a flop, and like 2K was fun. Like I started playing 2K17 in 2017, but like I just wasn't playing as much video games, and I started playing more basketball. And honestly, I guess thank you Call of Duty for that, because if Infinite Warfare was good, I would have been grinding that shit 100%. It was just so it was so god awful, man. Holy fuck, it was such a bad game. It was actually such a bad game. In general, I don't know, like, I'm not gonna sit here and say that Black Ops 7 was a terrible beta. It wasn't. It was fun. You know, it felt like Advanced Warfare in terms of jumping off of walls and like running around, stuff like that, because believe it or not, Advanced Warfare was honestly kind of a fast-paced game. There were some big maps, but the smaller maps, like I remember there was this one like Clown Motel map, and this Clown Motel map was very, 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 like, how do I explain it? It was very close quarters, and people like completely changed the way the game flowed based off of how they were moving and like exo jumping and shit like that. And I feel like the same thing applies with Black Ops 7. There were some lobbies where, you know, I was going up against Joe Schmoes who were just playing boots on the ground, and then there were some lobbies where people really knew how to do the wall jumps and shit. And personally, I kind of play like back and forth. Sometimes I notice myself jumping off walls more than others, but at the end of the day, like, I'm always going to be a run and gun kind of player, and I think I prefer the jetpack movement from Advanced Warfare over everything, because the wall jumping, while it's obviously understandable, it doesn't really make a lot of logical sense to me, because I saw this video where like there's a lot of these mantling points where the only way you can really escape the mantle is by looking all the way up, and somehow you automatically wall jump above the mantle. So I'm not exactly sure what the fuck that's about. Yeah, like it's just like, I mean, I could keep going, you know what I mean? Like right there, like, I mean, it's cool, like it's aesthetically pleasing. It doesn't seem as practical as the wall jumping did in Black Ops 3 and Advanced Warfare. Besides the factor of like, if you have a high sensitivity and play on PC, you'll probably be able to exploit the fuck out of this wall jumping thing. But to be completely honest with you guys, like, I honestly did not see a difference in the flow of my lobbies in terms of like the type of competition I was going up against when it came to skill-based matchmaking versus non-skill-based matchmaking. And to be honest, at the same time, on top of that, bro, it was rare that, you know, I had a team of like sentient people who actually knew how to play. And this was like for basically both mosh pits throughout the entire beta. Like, I was level 30 pretty quickly, and I remember like most of my teammates were typically like between levels 1 and 15, and the rest of like the opponent's team were they were like all max level, you know, all of them. And it was just like, why am I getting paired up with new players, and my team is almost always a team of maxed out levels? And I know that like the level doesn't really matter as much in the beta, but based on the level you can tell how long this player's been playing, and if they're max level, they've been playing for at least like 5 or 6 hours, you know what I mean? So at the end of the day, I won't sit here and say my experience was bad, but it also really wasn't good. Like, we weren't given what we were advertised, if that makes sense. I feel like some people may have had good lobbies, but I saw a lot of people using bot accounts just to get themselves into, you know, good ass lobbies without having to like actually use the normal connection method themselves. Now listen, it's cool that, yeah, we get into lobbies faster and the lobbies stay afterwards, but like, why did that ever go away in the first place? Like, why? Like, you know what I mean? It's like, I'm not gonna sit here and celebrate for things that were taken away, that we didn't ask to be taken away, because Call of Duty just tries to be extra and be like, you know, look at us, we're making this change, you know, we're gonna fucking roll the dice and see what people say. Like, they just can't fucking stick to what they know is good because they're greedy motherfuckers. And honestly, like, I don't blame them for making Black Ops 7. I think it was important to add on to the Menendez storyline and, you know, what happens with David Mason at the end of 2025's Black Ops 2 campaign. But at the same time, it's like this campaign, Black Ops 7, is pretty much what the Black Ops 3 campaign was supposed to be, in my opinion. Like, if this game came out 10 years ago, this probably would have been a best-selling Call of Duty of all time, and it would have made more sense for Black Ops 3 to come out today. I just hope that when the game fully comes out and no skill-based matchmaking is really what it is, that it feels like OG COD. I want there to be a mixture of good players. I want there to be some bad players. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I just don't know how many new people are coming onto Black Ops 7, if that makes sense. I feel like most of the people that are getting COD every year, at least for the last 3 or 4 years or so, are used to, you know, sweating their cocks off in Warzone, having a decent time in multiplayer for like maybe an hour and then getting off because it's too toxic. I feel like a lot of people have kind of just like given up at this point, and they don't even really like care to sit there and even read like skill-based matchmaking is gone. So at the end of the day, bro, I don't know how much is this going to affect the game, and I wouldn't be surprised if Call of Duty continues to go downhill. See y'all later.